Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. Ever since I won the barge, or got myself a barge this year, the Katana sail barge, I have been sort of going down the path of buying more and more vehicles, and now it's time I got hold of some Y-Wings. So this is the first one that I've got to show you that I won this on eBay. I just basically turned eBay on a week or so ago and I was looking for a Y-Wing, and this is the first thing I won in an auction. I've also got coming 30th anniversary Y-Wing, which is a really nice looking Y-Wing. There are other Y-Wings you can get. There's one in the vintage collection they released, which is a red version of this, which is actually why I bidded on this one. I thought this was the original release of the red one you get in the vintage collection, but no, it isn't. This Y-Wing here, I'm telling you now, as I look at it, I think to myself, this looks like an awesome vehicle, and there are hardly any reviews of it on YouTube as well. So I thought, well, I'm going to do a review and I'm going to talk to you about it because I've done a little bit of research on this. Because it's from the OTC, the original Trilogy Collection. And it has an so-called expanded universe flavour to it. So I wondered what the heck that meant. So I have dived into that, done my research, and I will explain to you what I think they're on about with it. Because you and we all want to know where exactly these things fit. And it tells you, just from the packaging alone, it subtly suggests that this vehicle is associated with the Battle of Yavin, which is, of course, episode 4. So I wasn't sure what they were going for, because I've never seen a Y-Wing like this before. Have a look again at the colour scheme. It's got a blue canopy and a red body. When I bid on it, the only thing I really paid attention to was, I knew it was a Y-Wing, I saw the logo here, and I saw the red there, and then it was only after I'd won it that I realised, oh my god, wow, it's got a blue top. So what squadron is it? Red? Blue? What is it? Then I read into the fact that it was an expanded universe thing, so I thought, well, what era is that? Is that because these things go back as far as the Clone Wars? But no, it doesn't tell you exactly where it fits on the timeline. However, the packaging tells you everything. It shows you here on this blurb there. That's the same blurb you'll find on Jedi Temple Archives, so they've obviously copied and pasted that blurb. Have a read of it yourself if you pause the video now. Boom. But it just basically tells you about the Y-Wings generally. Even mentions John Dutch Vander. And then you have a shot of this Y-Wing here, which is a Gold Squadron Y-Wing. Very pleased to have one of them arriving as well. As I say, the weathering on them look amazing. So what my take on this is, I believe, and let me know what you think, I believe that these Y-Wings here are just open for your interpretation. They are an expanded universe, and most likely they were part of the Battle of Yavin, because all we know about the Battle of Yavin is that the Red X-Wing Squadron and the Gold Y-Wing Squadron went for the trench run, but there's no doubt in my mind that there were other squadrons involved in the battle. I mean, take a look at this here. If it was the final so-called battle of the Rebel Alliance, they would have had countless other squadrons doing other things. So there it is again. There's the Y-Wing that's inside this packaging. That ain't no Death Star from Return of the Jedi, so it must be New Hope. You don't see any Star Destroyers during that battle, but, you know, what this is suggesting to me is that there could have been, and hell, there definitely was, wasn't there? It's bound to be some video games as well. Well, there are actually video games that have Star Destroyer battles in them. What's that game with Rookie 1 in it? Is that a Rogue Leader or something? I can't remember what it's called now. Rebel Assault, I'm thinking of. So there you go. So that's what I think it is. It's just it's definitely part of New Hope, definitely OTC, but this line of figures, I mean, look at the logo of this as well. I'd like to just mention the fact that that is the embryo of the modern day vintage collection. There was obviously the OTC, the original Trilogy Collection, and then there was the vintage original Trilogy Collection, which was, you know, using vintage Kenner card backs, and then obviously, as you know, that was the embryo, the germ, the seed that was planted that created the modern day vintage collection we love. So anyway, the OTC, I had no idea this vehicle was part of it until now, but it looks fantastic. So there you go. I'll explain a bit more about that blue canopy. Stay tuned, stay with me. I'll talk about that in a second. One thing I knew about this vehicle when I won it was that it came with a more silver body. And I was worried about that. I thought, well, what's it going to look like, chromey and sci-fi? But actually, it looks really nice. In fact, it looks just like Kylo Ren's lightsaber hilt. Look at that. That's brilliant. I love the weathering they've done on it. Before I tell you about the canopy, the other thing I was going to say was the other X-Wing that you can get available that isn't asides this one. Did I say X-Wing then? I meant Y-Wing. The other Y-Wing you can get asides this one is the 30th anniversary one, and also the one in the vintage collection. And that one is very undercoloured, I think. It looks very plasticky, should we say, whereas this doesn't look plasticky at all. It looks really metallic and solid, man. It looks great. Let's talk about that blue canopy. The reason that is like that is because apparently this vehicle, which was in the OTC, was modelled on the Action Fleet Y-Wing. I read that when I was online and I thought, have I read that right? Did they mean the Action Fleet, the Micro Machines one? And yes, they did. So, boom. I do own all of the Action Fleet, actually. I've never reviewed it on this channel, but I will one day. But it's true that the Y-Wing, that's the Gold Squadron one, has a blue canopy. And I have that one. I don't have it to show you my own personal one, but have a look at this image here. Apparently there was also a red one. And obviously, if the yellow one's got a blue canopy, the red one's got a blue canopy. The thing about the yellow one is it suits, they kind of mix better together, blue and yellow. But when it comes to red and blue, they kind of clash. So I did think to myself, what is this? What squad is it? But it's basically, this is a red squadron Y-Wing, but it has a blue canopy, just like the yellow one does. So that's that. The 30th anniversary one, talking about canopies, before I open this, I'll just tell you this. The 30th anniversary one doesn't have a blue canopy. That's just strictly part of whatever the Action Fleet did. But maybe if you look at the archive, the Lucasfilm archive, there might have been a Y-Wing with a blue canopy. In fact, actually, I was watching the Trench Run on YouTube the other night, and it looks like they've kind of got a bluey kind of tint. The guns, they've stabbed that bit there. I freeze-framed it. But anyway, enough talk. That's all I want. I just wanted to tell you a bit about the background. It does come with a figure as well. Check it out. The figure, I have to say, is rubbish. No offence, fella. I'm sorry. But, you know, he is definitely not up to date. They had some good figures in the OTC. Sculpted anyway. This guy looks like he belongs in the 1998 kind of era. The Power of the Force 2 / Power of the Jedi. He's chunky. He's bulky, you know, like the steroid bulk, and also he's not got much articulation, but you know, at least you get a figure with it. So do you know what? Should we get it open? I think so too. Join me. Boom. Welcome to part 2. So before I just completely remove it, I wanted to show you this. I was going to also point this out in the previous part, but you can see it better now. There is, this is the other bit of evidence that suggests where this is from. This so-called expanded universe Y-Wing they've set it into the Trench Run, which is really interesting, which suggests that it had a go of it, had a crack at it. You know, all we know in the film is that, you know, it was the Gold Squadron, then the X-Wings, but you never know, there might have been several guys having a crack at it. I don't know, and Vader took them all out. But still, whatever, it's open to your interpretation, I reckon. So there you go, they've done it in a really nice box there. Setting it in the Trench Run, it would have been really nice to have this packaging for the actual Gold Squadron one. But anyway, there you go. As I say, there's not that many reviews online of this vehicle, but they also show this packaging nicely. Look at that as well. That chrome is pretty good. Look at that detail. Alright, that, isn't it? Not bad. I like that. Anyway, I wanted to show you this as well. On the packaging, it's similar to what you saw on the back. That's at the end of it. Again, there's the vehicle as part of the definite Battle of Yavin there, just beyond the surface of the Death Star, and there is what you saw before. Awesome, huh? So I think it's about time we got this open. Oh yeah, by the way, when you open it up, this is a very oldest figure now. 25 years, is it? Not 25 years, 15 years, I'm sorry. And then you get this. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I don't know what that is. What is it? Just instructions? Yeah. But still, what I mean is, considering it's that old, it still feels fresh as a daisy. Brilliant. Okay, these things need to be out of packaging though. It's worthy of display, this thing, so let's do it. Boom, join me. And here it is now, all unpackaged, and I just wanted to give you a good look at it. So one thing I didn't mention is what they say on, I think it's Rogue Squadron, or that game. They call it the workhorse. Yes, that is Kian Farlander lurking in the background there. I'll explain why I've got him in a moment. The Y-Wing is the workhorse of the Rebel fleet. Now, I love that. It's what it makes up for, what it loses in speed, it makes up for armor, or something like that. They're supposed to be really, like, tough to kind of penetrate. They've got strong armour, they move slow. They're bombers, essentially. It looks great. One thing I'm not too keen on is the R2 looks a bit fake. It looks a bit plasticky, I mean. See, the metallic whatever they've done isn't very good. You can't remove the R2 either, which isn't a problem if it looked great, but it doesn't really look that good. It's a bit of a rubbish R2. There might be a way you could replace that head, that dome head, with another one. I'm sure there must be. But anyway, as far as the rest of it looks really good. Considering I was so worried about how it would look, I knew it came with a little bit of weathering and stuff, but no, it's fantastic. This is the first YWing I've ever owned in this scale, ever. Going right back to the 80s, 90s, whatever. Never don't do vehicles of this scale. I mentioned the Action Fleet earlier. I love Star Wars vehicles, and the Action Fleet was my only way in because in the mid-90s there wasn't anything I could collect anyway other than the Action Fleet. I don't think the Power of the Force 2 had even really come out at that point where I first discovered the Action Fleet. It kind of hit the UK in 1997. Although it came out in 1995, the Power of the Force 2. But the Action Fleet was around, and I just collected the whole lot. But anyway, I'm just digressing. I will review the Action Fleet. But this YWing looks great. I'll show you the mechanisms in a moment. The reason I've got Kian is because since it's an expanded universe style YWing, I thought, well, Kian piloted a YWing in the Battle of Yavin. I know, strictly speaking, it might have been, although it's Legends now as opposed to it being canon. Some female was the one who piloted. You know that YWing that appeared at the Battle of Yavin, flying away? It was Luke, not Biggs. It was Luke and Wedge, and then one mystery YWing. Well, in Legends originally, it was supposed to be Kian. Now, I'd like to think that Kian was flying a YWing like this, not the Gold Squadron. Apparently in Legends, he was Gold 7, but it's just because the red matches his outfit. Anyway, I've tried fitting him in actually, and he's not so good. This plus you can't really see what he looks like when he's inside. The canopy does open, as you know. All YWings open to the side. That's what I remember about A New Hope. This guy will do, to be honest, because the figure's not that great. So he's, I was gonna swap him and put Kian in the YWing and have him in the back, because he'd look good in the back of a snow speeder, because you can't really see the pilots in the back. So just like stick someone who's not going to be visible in the back of them. But since you can't really see him in this one, he'll do. But Kian fits in there as well. Let's have a look at the cockpit if you'd like. It's amazing. The stickers are still on there. They haven't peeled away or anything in that time. Let's just get rid of him for now. So it's all right, There's a little bit of weathering and stuff. It does have a kind of a plasticky feel, especially the R2. And then the gun could do with maybe some additional weathering, but for what it is, it's great. For a diorama, which is what I want it for, it does the job. So it's very nice. Lovely vehicle. I know a lot of people who really like YWings, and I like YWings. Classic vehicle. Burn marks there. Look at that. Now then, mechanisms. Let's have a look at that. See what it does. So it's got a bomb that you can drop. Obviously you've seen the canopy opening, the R2's in there. The R2 doesn't do anything other than rotate its head. So what it does is, the landing gear is this lever here. The Americans call it a lever, we call it a lever. But it does this, see, the landing gear up and down, it's nice. Oh yeah, nice. Quite slick that in it. And then there is look at that looks like it's going to cause some damage, that warhead there, look at that. It's got like a pincer thing, so that button there, if you press it, it will... Yes. Have a look. If I do that, look at that, see? Nice action. Very clever, like a pincer grip. Very good. So that's what that does, and that's all there is to show you. Landing gear. Should we put Kian Farlander in, huh? Why not? Come on, open you! There it is. That was difficult. I like Kian Farlander. He's now strictly not even canon, is he? But I like the idea of him being force sensitive. I like him being a pilot who Luke, discovered or whatever. Got him into the academy. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the OTC YWing. A really nice vehicle. Comes in nice packaging. And this is an Only One Kenobi review under the lights. Yes, there it is. There's a bit of backstage for you. So how about that, ladies and gentlemen? That is it. Nice. Let me know what you think the value of this is. I've never seen one before, really. I've never really been looking for vehicles, though. That's the thing. There you go. Any questions, concerns, or worries? Let me know in the comments. There's the packaging there. I might keep hold of that. Nice trench run and everything. So if you did have one carded, it would look also very nice in the box. But I think it's time this baby saw the light of day. I can't wait to display that amongst my other Rebel Fleet vehicles. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one.